Holland Lake Lodge near Condon hasn't been open for years due to septic issues with its wastewater lagoons. Operations at the lodge stopped because the lagoon's liners were leaking. The U.S. Forest Service is in charge of replacing or remedying those. On Thursday, new owner Eric Jacobsen was granted a variance request with conditions by the Missoula City County Board of Health to address wastewater problems at the lodge.
All starts with being able to have a septic solution.
Using a holding tank in Missoula County is not allowed. However, Jacobsen submitted the request to use a decades-old tank for wastewater storage for the time being, in hopes of opening the lodge sooner. He said an agreement with professional disposal services would make sure that the tank is pumped out daily if needed. An alarm would signal when the tank is at 50% capacity. If it fills to 75%, water would be turned off on the property and chemical toilets would be used. However, meeting attendees and Board of Health members had concerns about rushing into variance approval, and if the tank is leaking, that harming the environment. Now, a member of the public said he came and checked out this tank behind me at Holland Lake Lodge, and he said since it's last been pumped out, there's actually about 500 gallons of water inside the tank. So that poses concerns about potential leaks and contamination.
We've worked really hard not to put anything down it.
Jacobsen said he hasn't used the tank since it was last pumped out.
The concern about it leaking, what we have to do before we can use it is we have to confirm that it's not leaking. And if it is leaking, then we have to repair it or replace it to make sure it's not leaking. And if we can do all that, then we can take advantage of the variance and use the system.
While the Board of Health approved the holding tank until 2028, or whenever the lagoons are fixed, the tank must first be tested to comply with the Department of Environmental Quality standards. If not functional, a new tank is required and subject to U.S. Forest Service and environmental assessment, which would push opening back. Many care deeply about Holland Lake and hope it stays clean and accessible for generations to come.
We have to submit what's called an MDP within 5 years, and that will sort of say then what's the future use after that. So we'll operate for a few years, see what the demand, what really people want. We'll take public input. We'll figure out what sort of a collective vision of the place is, and then that will be reflected in our MDP.
In Condon, Emily Brown, MTN News.